June 21st, 9:48 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Hello everyone, Triple S back here with more Phoenix Wright. Estimated Trilogy with Justice for All. Did I ever mention that Justice for All is my least favourite of the original trilogy? I think my most favourite might be the third one, but Justice for All just really not that great in my opinion, the cases and stuff. But anyway, I'm still going to enjoy it. So last time we were in Crane Village, and Maya was channeling the spirit of a nurse who apparently killed 14 patients due to malpractice. But in so doing, the nurse controlling her body apparently killed the doctor of the clinic, the owner. So she's arrested. Then we met Pearls, who's her cousin, who has charged a Magatama we got from Maya with mystical spiritual power, which now allows us to break psyche locks. That's our first character-based power that you ever get in these games. And it's really cool. And now we're going to be in court, and this is a 2-part trial, I do believe. So let's go. What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean? No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor. I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya! Pearly! You showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed a map. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran. I can't. Oh my. If it takes 2 hours by train. Oh man. And just her on her own. Pearly. What about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend. Objection! I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life... Maya! Please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone. And he's not coming back. What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? Ooh, don't mention anything. June 21st, 10 AM, District Court, Courtroom number 2. Let's meet this successor. Oh, there they are. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defence prepared? Oh, I just noticed she does the same arm-grabbing thing that Von Karma does. What is with this kid? Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honour. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? Hold on, so she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma? I am Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred Von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Yow! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well. What is the defence's position? Your Honour, does the defence wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defence 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defence plea in no time. Justified self-defence? The plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defence of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defence, but the defence stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honour. Because the plea justified self-defence is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. Witness, your name and occupation. Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone will please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honour. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. Ah, and that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over. Floor plans added to the court record. So, how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time then. Okay. Cause of death. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Autopsy report added to the court record. The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. We press everything as is usual nowadays with the first statement from Gumshoe, just to learn as much as we can. So, pistol shot to the forehead, press. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe, whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. The victim? Now why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints. There were fingerprints. Along with the victims, the defendant, Maya Fey's, were also on the grip, sir. But were they on the trigger? That's what I want to know. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. Walked right into her hands there. The shot was fired from point-blank range, press. Point-blank, huh? So about how far away is that? It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot at point-blank? Tisk, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn? When something is shot from point-blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, I never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. Before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. Press. Stabbed? And what was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. I see, and whose knife was it? Looks like it belongs to the face, sir. And of course, my face fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? This does not look good. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. Press. How severe was the wound? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill. No. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing, but why, when he was going to die anyway? Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Yep, sure as sure can be. One look at the wounds and you come to the same conclusion too, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter, then, which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What a pain. That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today, sir. Very well, the court accepts them into evidence. Pistol added to the court record. Knife added to the court record. The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 PM. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time. And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case. Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. You wanna? Feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there? That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes? Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance. This is a huge decision. Better think this through all the way. Not guilty! If you plead justified self-defense, we will basically be confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined, and she'd be labelled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honour, have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defence will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of a complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective. Yes, sir? Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike. Yes, sir. Now see here, proceedings are run by... Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony. I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Okay, incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir. I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Maya's costume added to the court record. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Right, we've got to go to statement 3. As you can see, it's covered in blood. 1, 2, 3. Press. This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it is the victim's blood. So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. So were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well... If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Let's move on. Ah, yes, Miss Von Camera is perfectly correct. Even the judge is on her side. If I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? We press further. Why is Miss Von Camera suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be something about this costume. Just have to look harder. Mr. Wright, Miss Von Camera's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a hole in it. Looks like my time is up. So about the costume. There is one little thing. Your Honour, actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is this problem you are talking about? I've come this far. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. I assume it's the hole in the thing. Get it right on there, present. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here. A hole? But that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honour, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Order, order, order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Maya's costume updated in the court record. Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That, just now, was a fluke. Nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. While I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police, what Prosecutor Von Kamers has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then... No way! Detective Gunshoe, please continue with testimony. Yes, sir. Okay. The defendant attacked and killed a person who without a doubt was not fighting back. Is that the right thing? We present the fact that she was shot at by the bullet hole. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who without a doubt was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? You're right. It seems you're correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. Ha! What is with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Miss Von Karma? It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honour, what the defence clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Now that you... Why, that's right. Which means the defence has yet to prove anything at all. No! Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Ah! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Okay, I need to amend my guide here. Dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum. This might be the last testimony. What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. This scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. We're going to go to statement 4. The victim took a shot, but he missed. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we present costume. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Huh? What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? Gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. Huh. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? As if that was even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Yeah. Well, then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. It makes sense, something doesn't make sense. I am assuming that, yes, something doesn't make sense. There is a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honour. Fatal flaw? Yeah! Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. When she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. What is it? Oh yes, it's that. The folding screen. This is a piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that? A folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... When the shot was fired, Maya, I mean the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. Order, order. This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot. The bullet hit this folding screen. Here, this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Okay, I hope this works, because it should be like... there? She was standing here, near the folding screen. Oh, thank God that worked. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You of all people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If you were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Ah! Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you... I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing away from the victim when she was shot at. Do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? It changes everything! Honestly, Your Honour, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen. Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. Oh, you amuse me. Ugh, of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective? How dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honour, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's got to be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. Oh, to be continued! I thought maybe we might have had a conversation outside of the courtroom, but no, there we go, so that was pretty short. Less than half an hour. So that's the first part of this trial thing. Then we got another trial, and then detective work, and then I think 2 more trials after that to finish off the case. But next time, it seems we're going to be talking to Lotta. And it seems that Maya Fey was crouching by the thing when she was shot at for some reason. We'll find out maybe next time. Who knows? But anyway, thank you all for watching. I shall see you all next time. Goodbye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you decide to subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing, and ding that bell to be the first to hear about my new videos. Thanks again, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.